No matter what, people will commit to misunderstanding you. What's most important is your commitment to understanding yourself. Hello, you guys. My name is Nkirka Madani, known as NK, and welcome back to Misunderstood. Your dreams are waiting for you. Today, we are talking about the habits to a successful 2026. When you think about a habit, it's something that you do without thinking, like brushing your teeth or tying your shoe when it is untied. Habits are ingrained in you. And take these habits, actually adopt them into your life for 2026 and beyond. But before we get started, take some time to rate this show, Misunderstood, 5 stars. I'm so happy with the viewership of this podcast. I'm happy that it is reaching more and more people as time goes on. It is a very safe space, and I really hope it's a safe space for you guys as well to feel heard and feel seen. I've gotten a lot of really, really sweet messages over the course of this whole podcast being live saying this has been a space that a lot of people have needed, and it is a very unique take on a podcast. Hearing that makes me so happy and fully helps me continue doing what I'm doing. If you also enjoy this podcast, if you find yourself coming back weekly, or if there was one particular podcast episode I've shared that really stuck with you, please take some time to rate this show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. Also, remember to hit follow on both platforms so that you never miss an episode. Thank you so much. All right, let's get into our habits for a successful 2026. Number 1, move in silence. I feel like we just had to start off with this one. Moving in silence for me means keep some things intentionally private. All right. There are a lot of ways that I know that I openly share. I share because this is more so for me to connect with other people, but there are so many things that I keep under lock and key, and everyone should have that. No one is entitled to know every single thing about you. So first off, if anyone ever makes you feel uncomfortable about not sharing something, cut them out so quickly. But with moving in silence, it's essentially putting your head down and focusing on the goals that you so badly want. When you reach them, you can announce it from the mountaintops. You can celebrate and you can be very public with them if you so choose to. You don't even have to. But while you are building something, while you are really moving into the person who you want to be, unfortunately, there are a lot of people who are haters and a lot of people who could potentially mess with your flow, mess with your aura, mess with your energy. And I hate even saying that, but we all know it's true. We all know that we've maybe encountered someone in real life who has messed with something that was really important to us, that we told them in confidence or told them we were trying to build towards something and they were actively mean and rude and not supportive. I know I've had these specific people in my life, which is really where the heat of what I'm trying to say comes from. I can even use this podcast as an example. I wanted to do this for 4 years. I wrote it down privately, didn't share it with anybody except for my best friends. Years and years went by, and it wasn't until December 2024 where I was in a really low place here in New York City. I sat in my room, I grabbed my now old microphone out of my closet, and I learned how to start a podcast. I recorded the first episode of Misunderstood in December 2024. Did not tell a soul. After I recorded it, I was really proud of myself. I remember tearing up because I knew how important this was to me to start. I didn't tell anybody about it for so long. And then all throughout December, I actually batch recorded a ton of episodes. I had 10 episodes recorded for Misunderstood before the podcast actually launched. I actually don't even think I've said that on the podcast until right now. But the first 10 episodes of Misunderstood were pre-recorded, all in December. I wanted to contain this really powerful energy that I had. I wanted to not let anybody mess with it. It took me 4 years to even sit down and actually make this happen. I wasn't going to let anybody mess with it when I finally decided to put my money where my mouth was and sit and record this podcast. Here we are, sitting and recording episode 56 of this podcast. Just thinking back, I'm really, really happy that I moved in silence. I kept it to myself. And the day that I launched this podcast, which was January 1st, 2025, it felt like such a big accomplishment. It was exciting to publicly share it, knowing that I've already done a lot of work towards having it a sustainable platform. One thing about me, I love the shock factor. I love announcing something when it is done and it's out into the world. No one can mess with it at that point. I got a lot of really good feedback from it, and it's all because I kept my head down, I shut my mouth, and I did something that I've always wanted to do. This also applies to me moving to New York City. This one is a little more crazy. I literally did not tell anybody I was moving except for two of my best friends in California. I told my family, but I actually didn't tell them exactly when I was moving. I just said that I wanted to move to New York City. And yes, I told the people who needed to know certain things, of course, but I can count them on one hand. The people who I told, no one else knew, didn't share it on social. And I literally flew to New York. I had a one-way ticket from San Francisco to New York City on February 1st, 2023. When I landed in New York, when I was actually in my New York City apartment, which was my very first apartment here in New York City, I posted a photo for my story and I said, she's a New Yorker now, and I was holding my keys. That story got, I think, 6 times the amount of views than literally anything I've ever posted on my Instagram ever. And I've had that Instagram for 5 years? That was literally the most engaged story I've ever gotten. It was such a mic drop moment. I put things in motion on my own. I moved in silence, and I'm a girl who comes out swinging. You won't see it coming. I let my success speak for itself. I do not need to take out a blowhorn and announce every single thing I'm doing before I do it. I don't think people should do that. That's my truth. You can do whatever you want, but there's something really powerful about moving in silence. And that habit that I've adopted many years ago has literally allowed me to level up so much in my life. Number 2, revoke access. We are very, very strict over here. If I get any little inkling of someone moving weird or treating me less than I deserve or disrespecting me in any way, if I get any little whiff, for the most part, you're gone. And yes, that is very strict. There is, of course, caveats to that statement. It definitely depends on my history with you. It depends on your track record with me. Of course, not everyone is just immediately cut out, but as an overarching statement, I am very quick to revoke access to me. This is coming from a girl who was very open, caring, and I still am those things in a lot of ways. However, I do not let people in easily. I do not. You have to earn it with me. You have to prove your worth. And with that mindset, that is why I don't have a lot of friends. And honestly, it's for the best. It's for the best that I have only really curated people around me that support my growth, are actually good people, will be there if I really need help, and me for them, vice versa. It is a very healthy relationship with these specific people, but there aren't very many. And honestly, that's great. That's actually for the best. Not everyone even deserves access to you. You have to remember that. Not everyone deserves access to you. Don't allow it. Don't give people access to you who don't deserve you. Think about that toxic situationship who keeps on coming back and you let him. So you can't even excuse it anymore. Do not let them come back. Revoke access. Block. Mute. Delete numbers. Do what you have to do. Revoke access. Recently, there have been a few friends who honestly weren't really friends. That word friend, I hear a lot of people throwing it around a little too loosely. I have definitely reined in how I address people in terms of putting them in their proper buckets. A lot of people aren't your friend. Most people are actually just acquaintances. Honestly, a lot of people have been demoted. And again, like I said, we are being strict over here, but for good reason. The only people who actually deserve full access are the people who have earned it. Not everyone has earned it. Not everyone will. But you have to decide the people who are supposed to be in your innermost sphere. It should be a very small, select group of people curated by you, and only you. Number 3, stop putting things off. I'm speaking directly to myself when I say this. I have put off a lot of different projects. I have put off even small, mundane tasks that feel overwhelming in the moment. I eventually have to do them, so why am I putting them off when if I just get them done, I can do the other things that I need to do? Yes, there will probably always be something that I need to do, but By putting things off constantly, I'm actually breaking promises to myself. And that is something I want to stop doing. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. How I've actually overcame this for the most part is by writing things down in my physical journal. So I use Notion for a lot of my digital brain dumps and to-do lists. However, my physical journal has been such a lifesaver, specifically with this. I personally love the act of crossing things off with a black pen. Specifically, I love my pens, and when I write something down, literally it'll be glaring at me until I actually cross it off. There have been so many super mundane tasks that I don't want to do or clear out my email inbox. Certain things that I look at it and I know that it's not a super high priority. There are other things that are, of course, higher priorities. However, those things still need to get done. No matter how low lift or low priority it is, it still needs to get done. By just getting them done, I am telling myself, I'm telling my brain that I can trust myself. I can trust myself to follow through with the things that I know that I need to do. When you've mastered that, that ultimately makes you so successful. Number 4 is removing limiting beliefs. We've all had limiting beliefs. I will start. I used to always doubt myself. I used to always doubt if I can do something. And in the past, I mostly doubted it simply because I compared myself to people next to me who seemed like they were way far above me or way far more advanced to do the things that I wanted to do as well. But limiting beliefs was ultimately hindering my growth. It was suppressing the potential I knew I had. If I wasn't able to do it, it wouldn't even be in my mind at all. I know that for a fact because every single thing I've said that I wanted to do in some capacity, I have either done it already or currently doing it now or working to actually get it done in the near future. Everything I've ever thought of is in those 3 buckets. So then why was limiting beliefs even there? Why did I limit the things that I could do? If I think it and if I want it to some degree, I have always gone after it. I've always put it in motion. Limiting beliefs and your level of confidence are interlinked. Once you raise your confidence level, you will actually look at every single situation in your life and say, I can do that. Oh yeah, I got this. It will become less and less daunting. In terms of increasing your confidence level, you have to start small, of course, and you have to go into a task and say, I can do this, prove to yourself that you can do it, and then do a bigger task and a bigger task and a bigger task. And then you will stop thinking that you can't do something and you will fully remove your limiting beliefs. Number 5, ask yourself, what's the best that could happen? I would consider myself a pretty positive person. My friends have also said I am a pretty positive person. I have a pretty positive outlook on life. And by asking that question rather than the opposite has really been a game changer. The opposite of that question is, what's the worst that can happen? And yes, a lot of our brains go to a worst case scenario rather than thinking of this question, what is the best that could happen? When we start to think about what's the best that can happen, we can probably think about a lot of really cool and amazing and larger than life possibilities. And when we say it, we can actually imagine it. And when we can imagine it, we can actually start to reach for it. So many things that I have done in the last few years that I've been very successful at that make me feel like I am actually a successful person in my own right is because I toyed with the idea of the best can happen to me. Literally, the best can happen to me. I can dream it and I can actually go for it. I've done so many cool things in the last few years. I got to go to Miami Swim Week for free. I got to go to Paris for my 29th birthday. I moved to New York by myself. I've worked with some of the biggest brands in the industry, and that is just a few items. I have asked myself, what is the best that can happen? And that question has actually given me the best case scenarios in a lot of my life, and I will continue to ask myself that question from now on. Number 6, no is a full sentence. If you don't want to do something, you absolutely do not have to justify why. There was a lot of times where I did this with guys and I thought that I had to give them something because they took me on a date or give them something because they were giving me attention. That's bullshit. No is a full sentence. I don't have to explain to them why I don't want to do anything with them and why I don't want to see them, why I don't want to date them. I don't have to explain. I can just say no. If anybody reacts to you saying no and standing your ground in a negative way, run away as fast as you can. That is a breach of boundaries. They don't deserve you in any capacity. You can use this with work as well. Say if your boss is asking you to stay late, even though you've previously communicated that you have to go home or you have to leave at a specific time and it was already pre-confirmed. You can politely, respectfully say no and leave. They can't retaliate against you. You have a pre-stated commitment that you shouldn't have to change just because they changed something on their end last minute. You can also use this scenario with hanging out with friends. I will say a caveat on this. Do not cancel on someone last minute. That is rude and that is not respectful. We're talking about if something is presented initially, and if you don't want to do something, you can say no. You can politely and kindly say no. And you don't have to give an explanation why. Maybe you truly are just so drained and so tired from whatever it is. You can say no to the hangout and pour into yourself and have a really restful day and recharge so that you can actually go hang out with your friend in another setting on another day. No is a full sentence. I have adopted this in actually all of those areas of my life. It has helped me remember that I don't have to answer to everybody. That's not how life works. You have to do the things that work for you. Yes, there's some give and take, but overall, you have to do the things that work for you and also make your life feel comfortable and calm. Number 7, don't chase. The specific example I want to give for this one is with friendships. I have found that once I stopped reaching out to certain people, we just don't speak anymore. That leads me to believe that it was not a reciprocal relationship from the beginning. I only want things that feel reciprocal. 2025 really was the year that I focused on reciprocal friendships. That is the most important thing for me. Out of everything else, feeling like we are both giving to some degree is what I have needed in my life for a very long time. I grew up always being the one to care more, reach out with my family, with my friends, with literally every single scenario in my life. I was always the person who did more. I don't want to do that anymore. I stopped doing that actually a while ago. And when I stopped doing that, I really truly made a habit of not chasing other people. I'm okay by myself as well. I do crave community. Community is a very important component of life that everyone should have. But when I stopped chasing, other people actually started to pour into me and it started to level the playing field. It started to feel more in balance. And of course, you can also use guys and relationships as an example. I will not chase a guy ever. Literally ever. No. I used to. I will not anymore. I retired that a long time ago. You show me who you are. I don't like that version. I can decide to exit. I will not chase the bare minimum. I will not chase something that is not meant for me. And number 8, stay curious. This is for all my girls who really want a big and beautiful life. There's so many facets of life to be curious about and to continue to grow and learn. Learning new skills, absorbing thoughtful information, reading, networking, saying yes to new opportunities. All of this is staying curious. Life is meant to be lived. We have so many parts of life that we can really have fun in. Life is supposed to be fun as well. Let's not forget. I think a lot of people forget about the fun. And yes, sometimes life is serious, but most of the time life should be fun. Life should be exciting. Life should give you new and fresh and fun things to do regularly. There's been so many practices I've done to stay curious that I've really enjoyed, especially in 2025. I did so many side quests. I leaned into new opportunities, new hobbies. I met a lot of really cool people. That has really made my life a lot more fruitful, and I will continue to do that in 2026 and beyond. All right, and then I also wanted to end off this episode with some vision board work. I talk a lot more about this on YouTube. I will link the video down below. Vision boards are very important to me. They are such a framework for setting you up for a really positive year. It's for you to really hone in on and decide what type of year you want to have. If I look at all my vision boards side by side, they're all pretty different, but each one I see myself growing in each and every one, which is the point. I started making vision boards back in 2021. I made my 6th vision board for 2026. I love it. I love the act of making a vision board. So I just kind of wanted to talk about how I make a vision board. This is a very basic tutorial just for people who have never made one. Maybe this will give you some inspiration on how to make one for yourself. So I have always made a digital one. All you need is access to a computer. You're going to pull up Canva. Canva is a free website you can make a vision board on. I know there's a ton of different websites, but that's how I make my vision boards. Then you're going to pull up Pinterest. As you guys know, Pinterest is such a beautiful visual tool for your creativity. I will always be a Pinterest girl forever and ever. And I have boards that I use throughout the year just for inspiration, but I spend time pinning to a specific board that I keep private. That's how I start to craft my vision board. I literally just go through, look up quotes that inspire me, and also very specific photos for what I want in my year. They do need to be hyper specific photos. That is how a vision board truly manifests into your reality. Make them specific, make them things that you actually want in your life. Do not go off of someone else's vision board. This is a intentional, individual activity. I like to stress that every single time I talk about a vision board. Your vision board is for your life. You aren't planning someone else's life. You're literally planning yours. Make all of your photos very specific to what you want to accomplish in your new year. I am a words of affirmation person, so I definitely have 50% quotes and affirmations, and then the other 50% is my very hyper-specific photos of what I want in my life. I go through the practice of going on Pinterest, pinning the things that inspire me quotes-wise, pinning the things that inspire me photos-wise. I get them all into a specific board on Pinterest, and then I go through that board. I download each and every one of those pins. Now they're saved onto my desktop. Then I go back into Canva. I open up a YouTube thumbnail-sized design. Canva will give you a blank page, and then you just go forth and create your vision board how you want it. You would literally just go into Canva, upload all of your pins that you downloaded, and then you put them wherever you want on your blank design. This activity takes me around 30-45 minutes. I really want them to be exactly where I want them. I move things around. It takes a bit. After you're done, you download your full vision board, make it your desktop screensaver on your laptop or your desktop so that you see it every single time that you go to use it, as well as transfer the vision board onto your phone so that you can use it as your phone screensaver. So every single time you pick up your phone, you as well see your vision board. This has been such a fun practice. I've done quite literally every single year for the past 6 years now. At least 90% of each and every vision board I have ever made has come true. And that is just speaking to the power of vision boards. It's speaking to really being intentional about what you're putting on it. And yes, throughout the year, you're seeing it every single day. So you are subconsciously working towards your goals without even thinking about it sometimes. Sometimes it's active, but that passive activity of just picking up your phone or opening your laptop and you see these quotes and you see these photos of what you literally want to manifest, little by little, things just start happening before you know it. But yes, you're putting in work along the way, of course. I love vision boards. I think everyone should make one. And we're in January, so it is the perfect time to make a vision board to really set you up for a really great year. And going back to the title of this episode, which is Your Dreams Are Waiting for You, I really wanted to end with vision board work because there's so many dreams I have that I quite literally put on my vision board, and seeing them all manifest for the most part has been really powerful. And which is why I love to talk about making vision boards and really putting your dreams at the forefront. Your dreams are actually waiting for you. You just have to go get them. And with that, thank you so much for listening to another episode of Misunderstood. Remember to rate Misunderstood 5 stars on Apple and Spotify and follow it wherever you are listening. Join our Geneva group chat. It is always linked in the description of every single podcast episode. Hang out with me on my other socials, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and Pinterest at nkmadani. And I will talk to you guys in my next one.